Hello everyone, this is Maria from mariascraftingcorner.com and I'm super excited you're here. We're going to be working today with project 3 of our paper pumpkin alternatives, and I have said it in my previous videos. I absolutely love this paper pumpkin kit. I'm starting to think that I just love every paper pumpkin kit because I every so often hear my videos and I'm like, I said that already. So I really like this one too, right? So, and if you don't know what Paper Pumpkin is a monthly subscription from Stampin'Up for $23.50. And that includes shipping. You will get in your little box everything you need to create the projects that are included in that monthly kits. Sometimes it's cards, sometimes it's actually paper crafts. I mentioned this last year for December. There was some beautiful gift holders. I love them, like to put food. Very useful. I made cupcakes for the family and put them in. Everybody was super excited. If you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to spoil you with the Paper Pumpkin Kit and other videos and other rewards. So don't hesitate to reach out to me at mariascraftingcorner.com if you are interested. Also, you can just go to the link below and subscribe to it. We have really beautiful kits. It's really worth it, and it's very easy to do if you're just starting, or if you're not too confident about certain things. They make it super easy for you to create beautiful cards or beautiful projects. I would like to also remind you that if you would like a free catalog, the new catalog, which is beautiful, it has tons of really gorgeous things, I would love to spoil you. So just send me an email to that email there, and really it will be my pleasure to work with you, send you a complimentary catalog. Now, all that said, why don't we get started? Let me get this going. Hopefully I make this right. There we go. I am learning, people. I'm so excited. I'm going to take my email out of there. I don't want it to be in the way. So I am just going to go super quick about what's in this paper pumpkin kit, and it is the ink colors. So we have Sweet Sorbet, Parakeet Party, Tahitian Tide, Orchid Oasis, and Starry Night. Okay. And before we move any further, this is what our new paper pumpkin kit that will be coming in June will be bringing, and it's watercolor designs with, I keep thinking of just the market, right? To be fully honest, that's what I think of, the farmer's market. That's, I close my eyes, and for some reason that's the idea I have, that is going to have all these beautiful fruits and veggies, and I really have no clue, but I think it's going to be beautiful, as it's always been. And so you have until June 10th to subscribe to it. Again, go ahead to my link below and don't miss it. This month's paper pumpkin kit came in this beautiful box, and I always say save your boxes. They are super useful to store things. I am not going to go over everything that it's in the kit now, because it's really, there's a lot of it. I will bring though, let me make this out here so you know what I'm trying to do anyways. I will bring though the instructions, just to show you what the actual cards will look like, and they are absolutely spectacular. The paper pumpkin kit, this kit uses the ink colors plus gold, and I love it, absolutely love it. But I also want to show you that the kit brings these instructions. That's too complicated to see. That tells you exactly what to do and how to do it for you know, when you're making your kit. So it's easier for you to just complete the cards as they are. This kit particularly brings 5 cards in 2 of each design. Okay. And I want to bring this up here. I know this is not the most ideal setting, but this is exactly what the card brings, what the kit brings. So it always brings everything you need. I said it brings a stamping spot. It brings some tear and tape. It brings some gems or backed up glue gems. I don't know how you call them really. It brings some dimensionals. It brings its own stamp set, the card bases, and all the decorations. So really, it's for $23.50, including shipping. It's, wonderful to save your money. And with that, I'm going to say it helps you build your stamp collection. This one, let me bring my silicone craft sheet. This one has this beautiful happy, which is super useful because it's big and it's not filled in. So you can actually color it in between. I mean, there's so many things you can do with it. And with the rest of the sentiments, I just love this. And it also will help you build your ink collection because it brings, let me show you, this is the stamping spot. This came this year and it's in basic gray, and this month, and it's in basic gray. So again, each kit brings its own color. So what that means to me is that you will have the ability to increase your color collection. So take that into account. Now, I have said this many times, I try very, very hard to use only what's in the kit, with the probable exception of black or white cardstock and tools, because I assume that most likely you'll have something like a trimmer. And if you don't, please get this. This will make your life so much easier. I absolutely love this trimmer. It's one of the best tools in Stampin' Up. I really, really love it. But I will also be bringing my bum folder. I'll be probably using my Take Your Pick. Again, these are some of the tools that I can't live without. I think that are very useful. If you want to get these, if you don't have them, go into my online store. It will be linked below and just get them. Again, really useful tools. They are worth the money. So these 3 things here, I think in total this is $25, $35, and this is $7, I think. And all together, guess what? You will, if you buy these 3 amazing tools, you will be eligible for my rewards program. And so you'll be eligible for the card class, the free card class, a completely different for card class, not aired anywhere. I may later do something related to that card class, but this is that would be like the private class. And we will have a huge PDF, and we will interact, and we will be able to ask questions, and if you have doubts and whatnot. So for these, you will be able to get that class for free. A little bit more, you will be able to earn a free, I think this month is a freebie, let's call it like that, because I forgot the exact name of it, because that happens to me so often. But sometimes it's some of the card sets, sometimes is some of the gems. It kind of depends on the month. It changed by the month. So if you have any questions about all that, email me at maria@mariascraftingcorner.com. The other thing that I'm going to bring, let's see if I find it, it's my own stamping pad. Instead of using the small one, I save those small ones for classes, or for, if I want to play with my with the kids or whatever, my nephews. So I save those. And I always bring my Stampin' Seal Plus because we love each other. I just adore him. And my own blocks, because they are much more comfortable. The paper pumpkin kit, though, the first time that you order one, you'll receive your own block. I will use mine just because I have several sizes and they are much thicker, much easier to use. Okay, again, you don't need these, but I think they're right there between the needed, the ones, so much easier to use. Anyways, whew, that's a lot. Okay, oops, let me get started. So I have 3 cards today. One of them is the one that's a little bit more complicated, more complex. I don't like the word complicated, but it has a little bit of something to it. We're going to do that first so I can calculate the time, because I definitely wanted to do this one for this video. So these comes with a kit. We're going to undo this. I should have undone these beforehand. I'm not sure what I was thinking. As you can tell, they're easy to peel, but be mindful that sometimes you pull too hard. You don't want to mess them up, of course. So we have 2, 3, there's 5 of them. And I am going to say this, it's going to be kind of funny. I'm going to cut these in half. They are measured in 16ths, and that just, it's a mouthful on its own. So really, I'm going to bring my trimmer here. I'm sorry about that, the layer. Maybe if I move this a little bit there, right? It's still there. So really what I am doing is calculating it. And this is where this trimmer is just the bomb, right? Because it has measurements on this side, plus it has the ruler on the other side as well. And so you are able to see in here. So what I am doing, let me move it a little bit closer. What I am doing is calculating between these two and just eyeballing it what looks to be half, right? Okay, so we're going to do that kind of quick. We're not going to detail a lot about it. I have said this before. Oh my God, this glaring is killing me today. Let me see if I move this a little bit higher. 2. I'm so sorry about that. I'm trying to fix my lights. I swear to God, it's just going to take a little bit of time because it's not an easy process as I hoped. So, but I've said this before. If you have a piece like this one that you cannot hold, then put it all the way to the ledge of the trimmer, another of the beauties of these trimmer, and cut from the bottom up. The force you're putting in the cut blade will keep these in the same spot. And like I mentioned, these are not going to be exact because I am just eyeballing it really. So, but it's going to be cute. You'll see. I think it's going to be cute. One of the things about these cards is just I envision something and I hope they turn out as cute as I envision. And sometimes it's like, okay, well, that was that. But yeah, this one is going to give us a little bit of a there you go. It was a little bent. I don't know if you saw that, and we needed to stay, and that is not exactly half. And again, don't I mean, as long as they are fairly close, that will work. Okay, these are really fighting with me. We have 2 more to go through, and we'll be done. Oh, you know what? I could have done that. There goes Maria. Anyways, it's funny. Okay, so we cut them in half. I should have had them cut too, now that I think about it. Sometimes I just want to share with you everything I'm doing, and I realized I could have done one and didn't have to have them all. But it is what it is. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to create a weaving thingy. And I practice. Of course I practice. So this is sort of how it's going to look like. And we're going to be mindful about where we're putting them and the colors and everything. But the first step, and let me bring the glue. The first step is putting, I'm going to leave these like so. And maybe like so. Gluing these two, because this will give us, let me move this a tiny bit here. This will give us the length of what we need. So I guess what I'm trying to say, sometimes I don't say things very clear. I know it's clear in my brain. We need to know exactly where the others are going to follow and where's the end of it, right? So we are going to glue these first so we can follow, and that will be easier. Okay, let's do that with glue. And we're going to put just a tiny bit of glue, and we're going to go this way. The other thing I try to do here is not too noticeable, and it's I want it to be, what's the word for it? I want it to be like not even, because it's going to be much harder. So I wanted, okay, let's make it different. It's not too noticeable, but hey, if you want it, it's worth it. So this one here will go on top, and that's kind of what I was telling you. And we're going to mix and match the gold and the greens, right? If that makes sense, I hope. And we're going to bring a gold last gold one, not that one. This one is gold. What I'm trying to say is there were several of the little pieces that had some gold splatters and the others didn't, and we're just going to mix and match so we have both of them. Okay, so this is what I meant. This way I know this is the end and I can organize this. They do not have to be exactly distanced, you know. I've always said this often, and it's because I believe in this, truly believe in it. We are working here with love, and it's a craft, and so it should not, the expectation should not be for it to be perfect. Or it's not my expectation, maybe that's what I should say. Not my expectation for this to be perfect. My goal is for it to be beautiful and fun and something that whoever the recipient is going to feel that love in for them. Okay, so I am just kind of calculating, because that way I have a clue where they're going to go. This is how they're going to go. So I'm going to move these one, put a little bit of glue in there, and chum chum chum, move this, and I'm going to make this a little higher. Okay, and there it goes. And then the next one I'm going to do, it's this one, because this goes on top. The other two go in the back, or we'll have to glue them in the back. And actually, no, that's okay. We're going to move this one lower. And there it goes. I'm going to push it a little bit there. Okay, this one needed to be a little bit more on this side. So I'm just moving it a tiny bit. So there's more or less the same space between each of them. And then what we're going to do is we're going to move these, and this one kind of got stuck. Hello, Maria. It happens. We'll just unstuck it. Ease. There you go. And we're going to calculate them this way. So we glue them this way. The only thing we have to be mindful here is of where to put the colors. That's what I want to be called. So this one's like dirty there. Okay, I don't know if you've known about these. This is a glue eraser. Probably one of the best things out there when you're a crafter. If you're a crafter, you definitely need it. I have it linked down below. Stampin' Up doesn't sell one of these, but Amazon does, and for, I think it's like $16 or something, you get 2 of them. And as you can tell, I mean, it's going to last forever and ever. So, okay, go back here. we're going to turn this around and we're going to glue them in here, and it's just going to be a little bit easier on this end. And we're going to make that one a little higher there, just for fun. And that moved. And then we're going to put the last one in here, and we're going to put that one a little lower because the other ones had been too high. So, okay. So we have the first. And after these, really, it's super simple because then it will hold itself. And of course, we're going to put dots of glue here and there, but now it will hold itself, and I love that. And so what we're going to do now is weave. We're going to do some weaving today. So we'll go the other way, right? So we're going to do these weaving like so, and I'm just going to start weaving them, and then we'll put the glue. Much easier ones. Okay, we need a gold one, and I want not the gold there. I'm going to put it in here. This goes on top. Okay. Then another one that's got no gold, and it's going to go this way. Ah, okay. And finally this one. Again, this paper is so beautiful, and it's so easy to just create something wonderful with it, right? And this last one, I'm going to put it in here because this goes like so. Okay, almost. This one is obviously the hardest because these are not even. Ah, okay. Try again, Maria. Let's see. There we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Wasn't that super simple and super easy? Okay, so now we are going to just put a dot of glue. We're going to start with this one on the ends of it. Okay, we obviously have a few in here because these are, oh my God, Maria. Now that's not very well calculated, was it? Oh, Jesus. And then this one here. And finally these. And all we're going to do is we're going to go around. Now, obviously, just start with the ones that you have easy access to. And then we'll go behind and glue them. I'm going to put a little bit that more because that was not super well glued. And we don't need to glue, obviously, all the others. As long as we glue the outside ones, it'll be fine. That one is glued. These are the initial ones. And there we go. Okay, that's a little weaved, I call it, I don't know, weaved area. And so we're going to use one of the card bases that comes with the kit. This card base is a simple card base. It does not have anything but that. And I can see there's glue here. So Maria should have done this in the silicone craft sheet because that's why we have it. So nothing sticks to our workspace. But of course, why would I do that? Okay, making sure it's not dirty. And so now we're just going to do this one here. And so I have this big happy that comes with the kit, and I'm just wondering if I want this like so or this like so, and this one moved. I think I'm going to go like that. And we're going to glue these. It's probably a little bit easier. Just put some dots of glue around it. At this point in time, nothing is going anywhere, right? Everything is well stuck. And I'm going to do it a little bit like so. And that's one of the advantages of glue, is that it gives you definitely much more flexibility. Okay, so let's continue with our card. We already glued these in here, this weaved, how do we call it? I don't know. Now we're going to put happy here, and then the next thing we're going to do is use one of the cutouts that it comes with, the kit comes with, to put the other part of the sentiment. So it says happy, whoops, Jesus Maria. It's going to say happy to have you in my life. And so let me go ahead and grab, this is good enough. Thankfully it's a little cricket. Let's fix it. Okay, oh well. I guess we're not going to see on cricket. Let me see. Okay, woo, there we go. And we're going to use, same as always, the bigger pad that I have on my stash. I'm going to try here. I've mentioned many times that especially the clear, I forgot their name now because why not, the polymer, yay, stamps. I don't know why, but they tend to have something in them, so the first time you use them they don't stamp as well. That has been my experience. I heard somebody saying that it's part of how they make them. So I am just going to go very quick and take away one of these bigger ones that we are obviously going to have to cut, right? We're going to put it straight-ish, as straight as it allows us. And we are going to, I hope I'm looking to see if my head is right in there, but I am trying to get this. Oh, it didn't work. Okay, let's do it the other side around. And that's why people say so many times, and I said it too, that paper has two sides. I love that saying, I have to say. Okay, let's hope for the best. Ah, ta-da! Okay, we got that one. Let me move these stamp set here to my chamois. Always remember that if you clean your stamps, you're going to extend their life, and that is very important. I have said this in all my videos, I think. I'm not able to cut anything with the scissors straight, so I am just going to go ahead and use my trimmer because it's here, might as well, it'll be easy. Okay, so we have happy to have you in my life. We're going to put this happy on some dimensionals, and we are going to ask help here to my magic wand. And I am using our bigger dimensionals just because there's so many words, I mean letters, not words. And I am kind of on the lazy side of trying to get all the smaller ones. We're going to need some of the smaller ones, and I'm going to bring them up here. So we put at least one on top of each of the, this would be the P's and the Y's. And if you can see, the H does not have enough space to use bigger dimensionals, so we're just going to use smaller dimensionals and be safe. Okay, I'm just wondering if that one's going to need one, but I don't know if it's going to be too big. Let's see. Yeah, it's a tiny too big. Even this one is big. Okay, let's remove this real quick, and what we're going to do, scissors, we are going to cut it in half, and we're just going to use half of it in here, and we're also going to put one in here instead of that one. I think that one was also showing, so we're just going to use half, and that's much better. Okay, so if you've ever wondered what your take your pick, my goodness, I should just stick with magic wand. That did come fast, and whoops. Okay, I am not doing It's getting a little messy here. Let's move the stuff. This is one of the wonderful things you can do with them instead of using your fingers. Oops, that one's a little bit rebellious, especially the big ones. The small ones, I've found out they come fairly easy, but sometimes the big ones are a little bit more rebellious. And I think that it's just a great tool to have and to be able to utilize. Okay, I took the smaller ones by hand. Probably make less of a mess if I am doing it the other way. I had one stick there. So here's what I want to do. I'm not sure if I want it straight. It's almost straight. It's not straight all the way. Or if I want it to go like there. I think I'm going to leave it not straight. Yes, I like it better. And we are going to put the happy for you, to have you in my life, on the bottom here, and going back to using our dimensionals. And if you like dimensionals, I have always say don't just put 2, right? Especially in a spot as big or a sentiment that's bigger like this one, just put enough so it won't move or it won't go anyway. And so if I put it here, it's going to look so cute, and I think that works. Isn't that really cute? Super simple. It's got a little bit of complication to it, but I think it's overall really cool. We are going to use, I'm going to use a combination of the green ones, let's see, one of the Tahitian Tide, and I am going to use this dark one. So let's start with our Starry Night, and I'm going to put this one, you know what, I'm going to put this one here because it's really going to pop up, right? Then we're going to use some of the green ones, one here, I'm going to put one there, and maybe I'm going to put another one up here, and we'll leave that one. Oh, you know what? I have an idea. Let's use this one. So we kind of have, and we're going to remove this one. And this is what I was telling you about your take your pick. Isn't this amazing? Okay, this one wants to stay there. Fine, stay there. And we'll have those. And there we go. What do you think? Isn't it super simple? I do think that we should use one of the, make it a gift card. And I am looking for the green one. There it is. So the kit brings these little pieces that you can fold, and it's a little gift card holder. And again, I've said this many times, I know, but that's brilliant, right? It's really brilliant that they create these things just so thoughtfully of what we as crafters may need, right? So I think, again, I think it's just brilliant. I love the idea. And it's very cool, especially at this time that we have so many graduations. And for this one, I am going to use our tear and tape. It's probably the easiest way to put this. So tear tape is very strong, which is one of the reasons why I really absolutely love it. And in spite of the fact, the only reason I don't like to use it in videos, it's because it's a little bit slower, because you have to take the backings while the Stampin' Seal Plus just goes, right? So that is pretty brilliant. Let me do this way. And it's not like it's a complicating taking the back. It's just that it takes time. And if you have a lot of pieces in a card, which, let's face it, sometimes I do, it just makes it also complicated, right? Okay, so there's the last one. We are going to put this friend in here, if I can, and I'm going to align it towards the button. I think that's probably easier. And trying to align it here and here. hoping that that will do. And I think that's wonderful. And I have a little gift card here, and you can just put it there. Beautiful. And if you want, you can still put more stamps in here. So I mean, it's all up to you. I'm just gonna leave it as is, so I can keep going with the video, and it's like not extremely long. So let's go with our next card. Our next card is going to use another of the card bases that come with a card, and we're just going to use, let's see, whoops, we're just going to use these. So this card brings this like so, and you're supposed to remove it and put it in one of the card bases, in the regular card bases actually, and put a U. I have this one, it's a little bit messed up, but okay, I had, you know, tried to use it before and it didn't work because it got dirty, but the whole goal is for you to put the U here. Super, super cute. I am going to do something different. So we are going to go this route. We're going to put the circle on top. We're going to use our, yeah, it's going, our Stampin' Seal Plus. I have found out that if I put, the Stampin' Seal Plus is so strong, let's start with that, that it doesn't need a whole lot of it all over, right? So if I put, you know, a strip on each of these sides, I am able to use my hands to kind of be able to place it exactly where I want it without too much issue or too many issues. Okay, let me move all that stuff out of the way so there's less mess. So we're going to go ahead and place it, and yes, this is a, looks like it's about a quarter smaller. So we're going to do it like so. And so my thought was we're going to use this one and this happy, and I want it to show, and I want it centered, and so we're going to use this big happy here with this Y to kind of cover that little leftover of the circle. I know it is what it is, right? So we're going to go again, use our Stampin' Seal Plus. Let's bring that here. Let's be mindful. So if I have to eyeball it, I would say it's there. It's about a quarter of an inch that's left over there in the circle. There you go. Isn't that super simple? Just like so. I really like this combination of colors. It's really in my favorites. Let's go ahead and put some of those bigger dimensionals in here. I'm just going to put one in the middle here. Oops. One in the P. Get stucky. Really, our dimensionals are very strong, which is a blessing. And I want to bring some of these smaller ones just to put at the end of the letters. There we go. Okay, we got them. Just take those backings off. Okay, that one is a little bit rebellious. Well, I try, I guess. It's so funny. Whenever I'm not in a camera, it just works like a charm. And when I'm in front of the camera, then of course it doesn't work, because why would it? I really think that the smaller ones are a bit easier to take by hand. And then we'll go and put this in here. And again, so we're going to use the Y to cover that piece. And we're going to move this and make it straight. And that's our other card. So we're going to put happy, and then we're going to say to celebrate you. How about that? Or happy for you. I like that you, by the way. Happy just for you. Is that a thing? Let's see. I think I like the U here. And so what we're going to do, we're going to bring a little piece of regular cardstock, of white cardstock. I'm just looking for one that it will fit. There you go. we're going to bring one of our blocks, the stamping, the ink pad. I'm going to go for it. One of the things I like about this U is that it's, I don't know what the word is. Why do I forget words sometimes? It's full. That's not a word, but it's fine. And what I'm trying to say is that it's not lying like this happy. That happy is just like this. So this is a block, if you want. I don't know how to say it. But the reality is I like that because it's much more notorious. If you use this happy, is super cool, but then, you know, it's just the line and it's a little bit harder to see. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this U all around the border and kind of create our own die sentiment, if you want, kind of setting. I am leaving about, I want to say about 1/8 of an inch in these, with this word. It's one of those things where it is hard to calculate exactly. So this is very much what you want, right? If that is something, if you want a bigger, how would you call it? A bigger border, then by all means, just go for it, right? Don't even hesitate and think it's gotta be like somebody else's. Again, one of the wonderful things of crafting is that you are able to kind of personalize it for the person, but also with what you like and who you are, right? So let's see. I think that about 1/8, it's probably good. And that sounds like I know what I'm doing. I don't know. Let's not get too excited. But I think about 1/8 is a good idea. But again, border is your preference. How wide, your preference. That's the beauty of crafting. I think, let me see. So there's two things I am not sure how I'm going to do. As you can tell, I keep going around it a little bit. And it's this area. And I have mentioned many times, I am not a very proficient person with the scissors. Yeah, like I can even lie about it. So I'm not going to go all the way there, but I'm going to go a little bit there and then go back out. Okay. And I think I want to cut this a little bit further, not a whole lot. Let's try to follow the cut we did before. And I had seen, I can't remember now who it was, but somebody had said that the easiest way to do fussy cutting is moving the paper, not the scissors. I try to remember that very often, but I have to say, I am not always that successful. I wish I were, but I'm not. So we're going to remove the stamp there. We're going to bring our stamping pad. Again, just try, if you get it straight, it's much easier. So I'm going to put that one there. So I'm going to, guys, wish me luck because I shouldn't be doing this like so. Just for, ha, ta-da, that's a miracle. But by the way, don't do it like that. Try not to put stuff when the card is already almost finished like this, because then what happens is that you're going to get, or you can get it wrong. I'm going to cut a tiny bit here, and then it's a bummer. It's always a bummer. I know it's just a card, and I know it's just paper, but it is a bummer when that happens. That's all I'm going to say about it. Okay, I just cut it a tiny bit, and I don't know how this big thing got there, Not even I have some of it, and there's a boo-boo here. We're going to correct it with one of the gems because I tend to do that often. I am going to use glue for this one. Let's see, where are, and that's why I love the silicone craft sheet, because when things like that happen, you know that if you splash the glue, nothing's gonna happen. There it goes. You're gonna be fine. So we're gonna use glue just because I feel it's a little bit easier. And always try to keep it towards the middle. Not that, don't do that. Because if you do that, then it will, the glue, you know, the glue will splash kind of setting, if you want to say it like that. And so if you keep it towards the middle, you know that when it expands, it won't go out. Those are the things that just figure out how to find out. How did I know? It's because it's always been a mess for me. And I am going to use, for this card, we're going to put, the wrong one. I'm going to use one of the Tahitian Tide, one there, very noticeable. We said we were going to kind of take care of that one, so we're going to do that here. And we'll put that one there. Why not? And we're going to use the last one of our Tahitian Tide. Oh my God, I don't know what is going on with me. It looks like these glue dots are fighting us today. There we go. And we're going to put that one up here, or down here actually. And there you go. Super simple card, still very cute. A little bit of a change. But still cute to give away. And then the last one, these are simpler cards in the sense that it's not like a fan folds like the other video. If you didn't see my second project for the May Paper Pumpkin Kit, I will link it up below for you. Up above and down below, right? So I will link it up here for you guys to check it out. Sometimes I forget the basics of language. Okay, we are going to go ahead and remove all these things. I'm going to move this here. This is a little bit concerned about that. Hopefully it does not mess it up. Let me bring one of the last cards. And we are going to use another one of these. And use your bone folder to make that fold really nice. Oops, okay. I don't know why. I forget the basics, right? I have the magic wand. I know how to use it. Why do I always struggle with it? So this one is going to be a very simple card. The first thing we're going to make is, and we're going to keep using our Tahitian, our Orchid Oasis. Let me remove this here. We're going to get one of those really beautiful envelopes, because we're going to use the paper in the envelope. Let's see, another one there. Okay, let's cut this. And we are actually going to use the, let me see, I'm making a calculation there. I think that will do. I'm going to use the lighter part of it, and I'll explain why here in a minute. So let's go this way. Now I'm going to cut it all the way. Anyways, yes, I think I'm going to cut it all the way. And we'll just play with it. I am going to take the whites out. Tiny bit there. And a tiny bit there. Okay. So this is why I'm just going to use the lighter part. Let's bring the card base. So we're going to make this to fit, of course. You know, it looks like we're going to need it to be about 1/8 on this side. And I want to use, let's put it this way, it's like so. So we take that off. So these darker, because the circles are darker, right? So I can put this one here. This one, it's not going to be too visible there. So I'm trying to figure out where do I want them that they are going to be more noticeable. And maybe it's like there, maybe like there, like there. And then we'll bring that U and we'll pop it up here. Okay, let's remove all this stuff. I think we need to take about a quarter, but I'm going to start taking about an eighth, because it's always simpler to cut more, but you cannot uncut what you already cut, right? So let's see if that works. Let me move this a tiny bit here. Ooh, it's tight, tight, tight. I think I'm going to take a tiny bit off. It's not even going to be an eighth. It's just this mesh. Just because on this side it's a little bigger. I don't know if you can tell. There you go. So I think that in total it was probably like, I don't know, 3/16 maybe. But I know that's too complicated and I don't want to complicate it more, but I think that's where we're at. Okay, so we'll put this one here, and that's pretty noticeable. We'll put this one here because it's still, you can still see it, and we'll use the U and pop it here. Okay, and I'm going to use the You Can Do Anything. I love that one. But you can tell it's a very simple card, just using actually part of the leftovers of the other cards, which I really think that's, oops, let me practice here. I really think that that's one of the reasons that, I mean, or not the reasons, but in the end, Stampin' Up! Knows that you're able to utilize those, if not to make some of, you know, alternatives just in general, because they're really cute. I'm going to put this first. Well, I'm glad it's dirty on that end. And like I said before, it's much easier if you leave one of the sides without adhesive, because then you can maneuver a little better. And we'll put, oops, I don't know why it's fighting with me. We'll okay, let's see. Like, I am not sure what I am doing. I'm going to put it like so. Yeah, okay, like so. Because this is a little wider. And then we'll put some dimensionals here. I'll bring our bigger dimensionals. I'm just thinking of something. Nope. Okay, we'll do a few dimensionals in here. About 3, I think, would be good. And that one came off pretty quickly. And we have them there. And we're going to go ahead and put the U. Like there. And what we're going to do is, where are you? Okay, You Can Do Anything. We're going to take away again the stamp from there. I love when the sentiments are so encouraging, you know. And like I said, I think these are perfect for like the graduation, because of all the gold and the colors and whatever. Anyways, go back in here. We'll use this one. It's already cut. That sounds perfect. We'll do what we did before, kind of put there, make sure that everything is working correctly. Align our little piece here using our grit paper. If you are starting and you want to do things straight, the grit paper is such a lifesaver for many reasons, right? You've seen how many mistakes I've made. You've seen how it's gone, like it, and we can put this one here, like there. And you can tell that it's just a saver. It keeps your workspace so much cleaner, in such a good shape, right? I'm going to use glue actually. I am not usually this much of a glue person, but I think for today is going to do it. Okay. And I think I like it there. I like it still within the blue. That's like still within the blue, so you can see the different papers. Very simple, but very beautiful, I have to say. And we are going to use the rest of our Orchid Oasis gems. And I'm gonna put okay, I am trying to put that one there, and it's really, there you go. And I'm gonna put another one, and I know they say that usually it's so much better to go ahead and use 3, but I have 1 left over, and I'm just thinking I'm gonna put 1 right there. Even if it's 4, it'll be fine. Whomever receives this will forgive us. And I am going to use these 1, 2. And again, you guys know that I try very hard to use only what's in the kit. So if you want to do other stuff, so for example, if you want to do this in emboss it in gold, is what I'm trying to say, that would probably look awesome. Or create some lines with gold, that would look awesome too. We didn't, just because again I'm trying very hard to stick to what's in the kit, and so I'm assuming that you may not have a heating tool, or you may not have embossing or whatever extras, so that is kind of the reason behind me not doing this differently. These cards will match perfectly with so many of our other stamp sets and dies. Like I recently did a video with the, well, no, the video, no, I did a card, and one of the cards I used was using elephants, and I think this Orchid Oasis would look gorgeous with elephants. So just saying. Anyways, there's many ways to spice this up using our other products, right? You see how sticky that is? Okay, I'm trying very hard not to get stick. I'm still going to utilize that bottom to align and then to move forward, and that's just so much easier. And then you can just put something here, some extra stuff, but that's it. So we made 3 cards, 3 beautiful cards, I have to say, just using what is on the box. So we're thinking outside the box, within the box. How about that? Okay, people, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you staying and all this time. If you have not reviewed or checked out my other videos, I will link one of them up here. I am so glad you guys stay here. I do have an online class that you can get for free after you buy $35 before shipping and tax in my online store. This month class is not going to be available anymore. It was for acetates, but next month's class, it's going to be gorgeous as well. We're going to be doing a couple of fun folds and some other cards, just using some of our new products. So do not hesitate and go ahead and get, and like I told you guys, if you don't have these, and where's my bone folder, because it's gone. I have another one here. These 3 things will be enough for you to qualify for the free class, and it is worth it. You'll get a full PDF tutorial, you'll get a a longer video, because we're making 6 cards, but you will be able to learn at your own pace. I'm also even thinking of making like a Zoom class. And so that kind of depends on the amount of people, but that can be so we can make them together. But again, that takes a little bit more time just because it's 6 cards, and we all know I'm not exactly the fastest of crafters. Anyways, I will be posting my first monthly kit on June 6th, hopefully. They are very, very cute. They'll be only $30, shipping included, and you will get several make and takes. Really worth it. Finally, if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, please, please, please send me an email at mariascraftingcorner.com. I will be more than happy to send you a free catalog and to be your demonstrator. I have very, very good rewards. Do go to my online store, and at the top you can see where it says rewards, and it's really cool. So don't miss that opportunity. What else? If you need anything, please just send me an email and I'll be more than happy to help you. Thank you for being here. Don't forget, I will be live. Oh, before I go, one last announcement. I'm so sorry. I do have a beginner series that is not listed in the general videos, but it is in a list within the channel, and I will link it up below. Up below. I know that works so well. I will link it up here for you guys to check it out. Now that is a very, very basic class for beginners. We start talking about measurements, we talk about the tools that are needed, we talk about, I mean, it's very basic. I have only done 2 episodes. That sounds funny, huh? But I have only done 2 videos for that, and I am uploading them every Sunday in the afternoon, and then I will be live on Tuesday. Don't miss it. Beautiful cards coming. You don't want to miss them. And then we'll keep on doing our paper project, paper pumpkin kit alternatives, project 4 next week. Okay, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it, and see you later.